One of the most common questions I get asked by even older students is why will my high notes not speak clearly all the time? Usually with younger players, the sound we hear is something like this. And anytime we get into that sort of concert E flat above the staff on an alto saxophone, so that's a written C with the octave key down, we start to get, that's probably the first note where it usually shows up, and certainly when we get into the palm keys, we hear this humming, buzzing. It's just not the right pitch. It almost sounds like it's an octave lower, which in fact it's sort of close to an octave lower. The first thing I'll tell you is you've got to make sure they've got a hard enough reed. That's probably the most common reason for this happening. If everything looks good and they've got a pretty nice sound generally, I'm going to say that half the time it's just the reed isn't hard enough. Even in my own playing, when I have a reed that is slightly soft maybe, but seems pretty good most of the time, I'll struggle in the upper register getting those notes to speak, just because you can't support that sound enough. You can't provide, when you support the reed enough, it just pinches off. So the way to compensate for that is which is what the students are, is they get this sort of loose lack of support in their embouchure and the reed, and the note just won't speak. So that's the first thing to check. Is their reed strong enough? Is it a hard enough reed? I'm going to say that at least a Van Doren Blue Box 2.5 or equivalent reed for probably even the young 6th grade or beginning middle school students is going to be the softest reed they should have. If the reed is fine, the exercise that I have students do is simply to whistle. If they can't whistle, then that's a little bit of a problem, but you can usually get a student to do this even if they can't whistle. But if they can whistle, there's a really easy fix. If they can whistle and make it sound like a siren,